Hello and welcome to this wonderful session of Master TOEFL. First of all, a very warm good evening to one and all present over here. I am back again with a wonderful session of Master TOEFL where I'll be guiding you how you can ace your TOEFL examination just by using some of the strategies that you can at the time of your examination, and you can make your exam effortless, right? So as we were going through with the reading section, today also I'm here and I'm going to be telling you how you are going to ace that one particular question type in your reading section. Okay, so without wasting any further time, let's get back to the work and let's start. And first of all, let's discuss what are the topics we'll be dealing today. Okay, so yes, here are some of the topics that we'll be dealing today, and these topics are Introduction to Insert Text Question. Now this is going to be another question type, which is insert text question. In this question type, we're going to be learning how we can simplify this question type and solve it properly. For this, I'll be telling you the skills that needed in order to solve this question type. Also, common sentence insertion point with strategy to answer, common mistakes to avoid, and key takeaways. Now, these are some of the pointers that we are going to take it into consideration. Now, before moving ahead, I would like to tell you, all of you, I know they are going to be beginners as well. So, if you don't know what this question type is all about and how you're going to deal with question type, let me just make it very clear to you. The very first thing is Introduction to Insert Text Questions. How it actually works and how we're going to be solving it, I'll be telling you over here. Now, listen to me carefully. Insert text questions require you to find the most appropriate place in the passage for inserting the specific sentence. So what does it help you to do? Basically, it requires you to find the most appropriate place in the passage for inserting a specific sentence, right? These questions test your ability to understand the logical flow of information in the passage. Now, similarly, in a simple way, if I can just brief it up, it is nothing but a clear flow of idea. The clear transition of idea that you need to be very aware of when you are solving this particular question type. Basically, when a passage is there in your TOEFL examination, again, I have already told you, again, I'm telling you, don't rely on your personal information, don't rely on your assumptions. Make sure whatever is there in the passage, work accordingly. For that, you will be given a question, you will be given a passage, and you will be given an option, so that whatever sentence you are going to fit, you need to make sure that you are actually going and maintaining the flow of the passage. For you, maintaining the flow of the passage is really very important, because whenever you are going to read the passage, you will be able to take the inference of it. Now again, this question type is inference question, like inference based question type, okay? Now, what is actually inference question type? When I say inference, I don't actually mean inference question type. I mean you need to be very specific to the meaning. Okay, you need to be specific to what? Specific to the meaning. Got it? Getting it? So be very sure, and you need to be very careful while reading the passage so that you don't misunderstand the meaning of the passage also, because you've got to solve the question. Okay, now let's get back to the base and let's understand what are the other things we need to cater to. The options will be indicated. Okay, so the options will be indicated with squares like this within the passage, and you must choose where the new sentence fit the best. Now this is telling you how you are going to solve this question. Okay, so in the passage, you are going to be looking to this square. So there are going to be squares mentioned in the passage where you can fit into the new sentence, so that the squares are going to be there. You need to decide where, after which square or after which sentence the new sentence is going to fit within the context of the passage, so that there is a smooth transitioning of the idea, right? Now, if I'm going to talk about the next thing, which is skills test. Now, what are the skills that are tested over here? Okay. Now, listen to me carefully. Logical flow of ideas. Okay. So, what I got to know over here is like logical flow of idea is being tested, definitely. And this logical flow of idea will only be able to, get synchronized when you will be knowing the meaning, when you will be understanding and knowing the passage. And what's going to make you know the passage is the understanding of reading. And how it's going to be done? You have to do reading practice. Rigorous reading practice is required in order to ace your TOEFL IELTS, TOEFL reading section. Okay. So be very sure of it and make sure that you take these things into consideration. Okay. Now, next is understanding transitions. Okay, you need to track, you need to make sure, or you need to be you need to be that much attentive to track the transitioning of the ideas. When you are going in the passage, where is the transition happening? The flow of the responses, how the responses are flowing, how the transition is being done. This is how you will be able to relate it to one of the sentences and put them back to the passage. Recognize transitional words like however, therefore, in addition, etc. that help you figure out where sentence fit. Now, in order to cater to these words, you need to be very sure of one thing that I can say, that whenever you are going to encounter these words, okay. Now, what are these? These are transitional words. Also, we also call them connectors, right? What do we call them? Connectors, right? So when I say connectors, you have to be very sure. See, every connector has its own role to play, right? So if I'm saying that I've put however, it means I'm talking about something that's going to be contradictory in nature. Therefore, also the same, in addition, it means I'm adding an information to it, right? Similarly, we have on the contrary, on the other hand, or you can say provided, we have a lot of words that might end up showing a contradiction or a little bit of change in the opinion, right? Whenever there is a change in opinion, we're going to be using connectors. There are few more words, like they're not connectors, but yes, there are a few more words that going to be changing the, meaning of the sentence, for like conditional words, okay? They might change it, okay? So be very sure of it whenever you're reading the passage. If possible, because in TOEFL, you need to be very good at note making. Got it? Note making is very effective and a very efficient practice that one can do. Whenever you're reading the passage, while reading the passage, make sure you mark the words, okay? In this way, they are going to be highlighted in front of you, so that whenever you are up for marking the responses, it becomes easy for you to do that, right? Now, next one is identifying references. You need to identify the reference. You need to look for the clues, look for the hints that are there, right? So, look out for pronouns like this, these, it, they, which connect the inserted sentence to other parts of the passage. Now, you need to be very careful of looking to the pronouns if there is any. Next is cause and effect relationship. Exactly. Because there are going to be passages where there are going to be causes as well as the effects are also going to be mentioned. So, you need to be very particular while looking to them, so that you don't lose them, right? Mentioning or looking forward to the cause and effect. For example, there is one one paragraph that's talking about the cause. The another paragraph might be talking about the effect. And then again it is talking about cause, and then again it is talking about effect. So you need to look upon to the algorithm of the passage so that you can connect the sentence, like whether it is a cause or an effect or a solution to the problem, right? In order for you to relate that particular sentence to the passage, you've got to be very clear of what you are presenting. Got it? So be very sure of it. Now, done? Okay. So the sentence might explain a cause, an effect, or provide a conclusion, or maybe it provide a solution for the same. Okay, so you've got to be very clear at the time of mentioning or at the time of referring to these pointers. They might be providing a cause, effect, or a solution for the same, right? So make sure you take these things into consideration and then work upon it. Okay, so what we got to learn? We need to see the logical flow of the idea first. Second, we need to understand the transition between the paragraphs. Third, identifying references. We need to look for the pronoun. Also, we need to look upon for the connectors or the words that might end up distracting, and also be very aware of the fact that you are going to get paraphrasing like quite good. So TOEFL definitely an English proficiency exam where your exam or the language proficiency is being tested. You need to be very sure that you don't end up providing a wrong idea or a wrong inference of the passage. So be very sure of it. Okay. Now, let's talk about the next thing. Common sentence insertion location. Okay. Definitely, we need to understand what can be the exact location for the sentence insertion, right? Now, first is before supporting evidence. Let's just mark it for you. Okay. Before supporting evidence. Okay. If the sentence introduces an idea, it may fit before details or examples. Okay. If the information or if the sentence introduces an idea, for example, there is a sentence that is working as an introduction to an idea, right? Then it is working or it might fit before details or examples. So, for example, let's suppose the passage has just started and the sentence that you need to fit into the passage is talking about the introduction. So, you can just fit in before the detailings or the justification in the passage, and you can also fit in before the example. So, that is what the exact location for a statement which is showing an introduction to you. Now, let's talk about the next one, after an explanation. Now, there might be possibility the sentence is talking about the further explanation. So, where you're going to fit it in? The sentence may fit after description or elaboration. These are the two scenarios where the sentence might fit in to sum up the main point. So, these are the things that are used to sum up the main pointers. Now, between transitions, how we are going to identify? For that, you need to be very well versed. So, here, see, here it becomes a little bit hectic for you to manage, because in order for this question type, you need to understand the meaning of the passage. Also, meaning of the statement. You need to be very well aware of both of them, right? Now, for example, next one is, we've got example passage with insertion points. Okay, use a short passage, 5 to 6 sentences, and show number insertion point 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now, so these are some of the locations that you can use at the time of mentioning or inserting the text or the sentence into the passage. Got it? So these are some of the tricks you can use, or location. Definitely these are working as a tricks only. So sir, let's suppose if a sentence is giving a hint of an introduction, you are going to put it before an example. And if your sentence is giving the hint of an explanation, then definitely you are going to put it after an explanation or maybe before an example. And if your sentence is giving between transition, if there is anything that is going to be, if there's any sentence that is giving a justification or a detailings of the particular topic, then you are going to fit it in the middle. That is going to be what? That is going to be between transitions, right? Now, let's talk about strategy to answer text question. Now, how we are going to solve this up? What are the strategies that we are going to take up at the time of solving insert text question? The very first thing is read the entire passage carefully, definitely, in order for you to understand how exactly each and every passage work, how you are going to understand it properly. It is really very important for you to understand the entire passage before coming up to the response. Now, first one is understand the context and logical flow. Understand what? Understand the context and logical flow. Understand the context and logical flow of the passage. Okay. What is the meaning of context? You can understand the main idea and supporting idea. Right? You can understand the main idea, and with that you need to take care of the supporting idea for the same. Okay, now pay attention to how ideas are linked from one sentence. Pay attention to how ideas are linked from one sentence to the next. Okay, so you need to pay attention to how the ideas are getting linked together. Okay, this is how you're going to work about. Okay, now done. Check each insertion option. First of all, you're going to read the passage. Okay, and check, but I'll recommend read the question first. This is what I usually recommend in all question type, because you need to be familiar with the statement that you need to insert in the passage, right? For that you need to be familiar with the statement. What statement is talking about? Then we can see where we can actually fit it into the passage with respect to the meaning of the passage and the chronology of the passage, right? So that the transition is smooth over there. Okay. Now, consider each potential insertion point. You're going to get multiple and numerous options. You're going to get a lot of options where you are going to, there might be possibility you might get confused, but still be very sure. If you're clear over here in the mind, nothing can stop you to come up with the accuracy of the data. So make sure you be very accurate at the time of presenting your responses and presenting the data, right? Now, analyze the sentence you are inserting. I have told you, just right now I have told you that ask what role the sentence is playing. Whether it is giving an explanation, introduction, new idea, summarize something, or explaining a concept, where it is actually standing. You need to be very sure. Next, use pronouns and transitions as clues pronouns. Okay, what are clues pronouns? If the sentence contains a pronoun like it or this, it must follow something specific. Exactly. Because when we use this or when we use it pronoun, it means we are talking about something which is specific in nature. Something that has a specific meaning or a particular topic or an object that we are going to talk about. So that gives a sense of individuality, that another set of information we are going to provide over here that might add upon. Okay. Now next is transition. Look for words like however or therefore to see if the sentence fits logically before or after a certain idea. Got it? So yes, this is how we are going to learn, and this is how we are going to solve. This is the entire strategy that you need to learn at the time of solving the insert text question. Now we are going to be looking to it with the help of an example that I'll be doing it in front of you. Okay. Now, First, I've already told you I'm going to be reading the question. So yes, let's understand and read the question. Now, sentence to insert. This is the sentence. One of the key improvement was, okay, it was an improvement, was the development of lithium-ion batteries, which significantly extended the driving range of electric vehicles. Got it? So, in this sentence, what it is actually talking about is one of the key improvements. So, there were a lot of improvement. In that, one of the most important improvement was the development of lithium ion battery. Okay. So, what is the development? It was the development of lithium ion battery which significantly extended the driving range of electric vehicles. Okay. This is the sentence that we need to insert. Now, let's understand where we are going to insert. Now, you can see these options, right? These options are nothing but has been taken from the passage. We need to insert this text over here anywhere after any of these topics to ensure the smoothness and transition of the passage. Now, we now know what it is talking about, what the statement is talking about. Now, let's have a quick look at the passage. The history of electric car dates back to the 19th century. Early electric vehicle EVs were slow and had limited range, which made them impractical for widespread use. Okay, so earlier, because of the limited range, they were very impractical for widespread use, for major usage, for a macro level. However, technological advancement in the late 20th century sparked renewed interest in the EVs. So, however, technological advancement in late 20s that had sparked again the usage of EVs, which is electric vehicles. Okay, now we've got one over here. However, technological advancement over here, government and environmentalists promoted electrical vehicles as cleaner alternative to gasoline powered cars. Okay. Okay. Got it. This push for cleaner transportation along with advances in battery technology led to the production of modern EVs that could travel longer distance on a single charge. Now, companies like Tesla, Nissan and Chevrolet have all contributed to the surge in popularity of electric vehicles by developing cars with competitive performance and affordable prices. This is the entire passage. Now, if you have noticed, we have got our answer like way before, okay? If you can just have a clear look over here, what it is talking, one of the key improvement was the development of lithium ion battery. What would have been happened if the development of lithium ion battery has happened, if it is if it was already improved, then which significantly extended the driving range of electrical vehicles. Okay, so because of the improvement in the batteries, it increased the potential of electric vehicle it increase the potential of electric vehicle driving. Okay, so how and when and where we can see this information? If you're going to have a closer look over here, along with advances in battery technology, can you relate it? Advances and improvements, right? Advances in battery technology led to production of modern EVs that could travel longer distance on a single charge. Now, here if we can just add, one of the key improvement was development of lithium-ion batteries which significantly extended the driving range of electric vehicles. Now, for this, the answer is going to be this, the third one. For this, you need to relate it with the respect of the meaning, with respect of the transition, with respect to the chronology and algorithm of the passage, how and when the information of this set of information is is a set of, explaining type, or you can say that it is giving a set of description to a continuation of a certain topic, right? So this is where we are going to put it in. Now I think you guys might have an idea how you're going to solve it properly. Okay, now here is your answer. The sentence to insert talks about lithium-ion batteries, which fits right after the mention of advances in battery technology. And before discussing modern EVs production, this ensures the passage flows logically. Got it? Now, let's talk about common mistake that usually students do in this exam type or a question type. Not reading the whole passage. If you're not gonna read the whole passage, you will never be able to understand the entire context of the passage, which is very important for you to understand. You can't make an accurate choice without understanding the context. Exactly, that becomes very difficult for you. Ignoring pronoun and transition clues, words like this, that, these, considering these words are actually very important, that always refer back to something in the passage, which misplace them causes a logical disconnect. Okay, inserting the sentence randomly. You cannot randomly insert any of the text to anywhere, because it's going to impede the meaning of the passage, and definitely it has to be logical. So both of them are interdependent to each other with respect to the meaning. So always ensure the sentence fit both logically and grammatically within the surrounding sentences. So these are the pointers that you need to be very careful of when you are going to solve this kind of a question. Okay? Yes. Key takeaways. So there are certain pointers, or you can say a summary out here, that you can consider at the time of coming up with the response. First, read carefully. Understand the overall passage before making a choice. Understand the meaning of the passage as well as the meaning of the sentence. Analyze the sentence. Same. Determine whether it introduces, supports, or explains the idea. Use clues. Look for transition and pronoun references so that you don't end up coming up with the wrong response. Practice. The more you practice, the better you get at recognizing logical flows and where the sentence fits. So you are on the safer side over here if you are going to consider all these pointers together and work accordingly. Okay. Now, yes, that's all. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks a lot for being here. It was a wonderful session, and yes, make sure you keep on practicing, keep on learning, and keep on growing. And all the very best to the students who are preparing for their TOEFL examination. Bye-bye. Take care. See you in the next session.